there, hey, and thank you for tuning in to this Friday weekend edition of Born to Be a Star. Today is another day and another opportunity for you to recognize your star power, for you to look in the mirror and reflect on where you've been and where you're going to next on your stardom journey. And when you're looking in the mirror and you're looking at your reflection, you should be learning to love the reflection that you're seeing in that mirror. Yeah, life can be difficult. Bad days can happen. You can hate your mustache or your eyebrows or that red hair color you decided to paint your hair. But whatever the case may be, freckles or not, Irish or whatever you want to be or whatever you are, it literally can be anything. You got to look in the mirror and love the reflection that you see. You got to look in the mirror and love what's there, right? Or learn to love what's there. And sometimes that's an easy process, or sometimes that process takes more time. Whatever the case may be, your reflection is something that you got to learn to love, because it's something that's going to be staring at you every day. We should be starting off our day by saying to ourselves, yes, we can have a great day. Yes, we can change our minds. Yes, we can do things differently. Yes, we can be better than we were yesterday. Yes, we can let things go. Yes, we can chase our dreams. We can decide we want to change our favorite color. We can decide that we want to learn how to play chess. We want to learn how to play poker better. Maybe you want to learn more about sports and you want to become more familiar with soccer or hockey or golf or anything, right? Maybe you do want to learn how to knit and to sew and cook and bake and do a bunch of cool things. Maybe you want to learn a new language and you want to travel to Japan or some other country around the world. Maybe you want to get an RV. Maybe you're ready to get a new car because you're tired of spending all your money on a piece of crap that continues to break down. Maybe you're tired of renting and you're finally ready to buy, even though everybody keeps saying the numbers are going to go back down in the market, blah, 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 blah. But when is it really going to be a great time for you to buy? When aren't you potentially going to lose your job or going to get laid off, or who knows when, why, how, what, when? Like, maybe we should be saying to ourselves, yes, we can. Maybe you should actually go for the job you want to work at, and you should actually change your major to something you actually care about. When you start your day off by saying to yourself, yes, you can, then that leads you to the next part of your conversation, which should be never giving up. We understand life is difficult. Bad things happen to good people. And the doctor can tell you something that you might not like. Taking that into consideration, maybe it's important that we don't let something that's bad get us down. It can be anything, right? But there's some definite important things in life. When it doesn't go the way you initially want to, you might conclude that that might be the ending. Like your marriage didn't work out. Like you're dealing with infertility, or that job that you put all this effort and time into didn't work out the way you wanted it to. Your mom is dying. Your dad might already not be here. Your child is sick. It could literally be anything. The entire storm of life can come down on you all at once, and you could be feeling everything in every way possible. But even if that is happening, and you're having all these miserable experiences, like you're a student in 2020 to 2025 and you never really had a great experience because of COVID, right? Whatever the case may be, you still have to find a way to persevere through difficulty, even if it's not fun or comfortable. You still have to find a way to get through things that are not great. Because life is not easy. Bad things happen to good people. And sometimes the doctors misdiagnose you. Sometimes your family members might say fucked up shit to you that doesn't make any sense. And they don't understand what they're doing. And you can't let that get to you. And you definitely can't let that stop you. Right? Just because family members and people are going out of their way to say ridiculous things and treat you horribly, or just because your doctor's not actually being a doctor and you've had a shitty experience with dentists and blah 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 blah, and you keep running into problems, doesn't mean you let that dictate your tomorrow. Sometimes you just have to breathe and just let shit go, let things go, and recognize that you're just a person and a human being, right? Sometimes just let it be. let it be, or just move on, or just understand that just because something is not great today does not mean it might not be good tomorrow. Just because you can't see over the horizon right now at this moment doesn't mean that it won't be there later on. We need to find a way to persevere through the difficulty, to be a champion, to be fierce, and to fight. And we need to recognize that there's other people fighting too. There's men and women that are serving around the world on army bases, anywhere you could think of, that are in the reserve, that are in the Marines, that are in the Navy, that are in the National Guard, that are in the Air Force, that are sacrificing their lives to protect others. There's police officers and firefighters and nurses and doctors and EMTs and on-call people that are working in all sorts of facilities and anywhere you could think of, in any crevice of any place ever. And they have to get up every day and do their job. So in some way, we have to do the same thing. And I know that's not always great. I know people suck. The doctors don't typically think about you when they're telling you something whack, or they're misdiagnosing you, or they're telling you got to do 55 other fucking steps before you get to a basic step, right? Maybe they don't understand your difficulty, or you just feel like no one can hear you. In the eye of that storm, I ask you to not give up, to fight, to persevere, and to hold on, because better days are coming and something good is going to happen to you. You might not see it now, but it's coming. It's over the horizon. The devil has a way of trying to confuse you and steer you to the darkness, and you have to find a way to be the light regardless of the devil chasing you. Moving on from the idea of never give up, we move into the idea of why not today, because we understand indecisiveness and procrastination is no one's friend. Taking 5 weeks to fix your dishwasher is pretty insane when it takes you 5 minutes to discover it's not working, right? You look at the dishwasher and you're noticing nothing's happening. Like, nothing. You probably want to contact your super if you live in an apartment building. You might want to get on the phone with the manufacturer of the dishwasher if you got it from Lowe's or something. You might want to contact your friend. You might want to get on Angie's List to see if you can get this fixed. You witness some marking on a wall in one of your rooms, the baby's room, your office, the bedroom, the other room, the bathroom, the other bathroom, the living room, the kitchen, the den, the dining room, whatever it is, the laundry room. Are you going to sit there and stare at the marking on the wall forever? Are you going to get up off your ass and go paint over it so you don't have to stare at it anymore? Like, these are things we could do to stop the problem, right? Why don't we take the initiative to get the things done and get them done? Instead of waiting forever, why don't you go buy some paint and paint over it? All you have to do is take a picture and try to find the closest thing to the paint on the wall in whatever the room is. Following that, you go into the basement and you discover, well, shit, isn't it a day? There's something wrong with the washing machine. I can definitely tell you this is not DIY. You're going to want to contact someone that understands how to fix that. It might be time for you to get a new one, because those really aren't things that are fun fixing. Anything can happen, right? If we don't organize our lives and prioritize things that are important, like doctor's appointments and showing up on time and doing things correctly, then shit won't get done. You have to get things done or they never will. And we need to live in this mindset of understanding that no one's going to do it for you. Instead of always looking for a way out of responsibility, instead of looking for a way out of dealing with something, deal with it in that moment, because you might not have another moment to deal with it with. We've all learned over time that if you don't organize things, you don't get things done, they will not get done. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is used as a sort of metaphor, right? At some point, though, the human race might cease to exist. And do you want to get everything done before that happens? Before some aliens or some, like, invasion of the body snatcher type of creatures come to eat you? I mean, that doesn't really sound fun to me. I kind of want to make sure everything's done and the air fryer is off. Just a thought. Moving on from the mantra, let us get to this edition of The Matrix. Red or blue, they're coming for you, they're coming for you. The Matrix. So we've been talking about retail, the mall, how stores are going to keep up with Amazon, who's delivering the things, the post office, this, that, and everyone's other's uncle's best friend Sally. We've been talking about all of that and more. So today, since we were discussing that, where do we think retail is going to go in the next 20 years? That's my first question. And then my second question is, how often do we need to be buying things? So where do we think retail is going to go in 20 years? I don't think this in-person shopping thing is going to last. I think there's more people like me that are just over it and tired of dealing with people that, quite frankly, don't know what they're doing. And I just think that there's an influx of people that don't want to pay more because it's in some ridiculous store. There's so much competition. There's so many other things available. There's so many different ways to purchase things. I said it yesterday. How are they going to compete with the Death Star? And if you've got a little store and you've got the store on a website and then you've got the store on Amazon, then you are online only and you don't have to deal with paying people or brick and mortar. You have an online platform, which means it takes you away from dealing with rent. Now, of course, you're going to have to pay some way or another for your business and to have it go, correct? But this idea that we're stuck in this mindset where we have to do one thing one way and we can't switch it, that shit's over. And it's not going back to whatever it was before. That is what's happening. I think in 20 years, nothing is going to be the way we see it now. And for me to even think that far ahead, I'd say even in 10 years, it's not going to be like it is now. And it never will be the same. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that's just realistic. Next part of the conversation, how often do we need to be buying things? I honestly don't think you need to be upgrading things and buying things till they don't work anymore, or till it has a hole in it and you need another one. I got caught up in like shopping and buying shit, and now I just have a bunch of things, and it kind of leads me to think, like, why do I have, like, some things I'll wear, or some things I'll wear again, or some things will be important for a specific time, but in other situations it just makes me feel like, was this the best decision for me to get all this stuff, or do I really need this for that, or that for this, or it's one thing or another. And I just can't help feeling like retail and ads, and when you're on Pinterest there's 5,000 ads, or when you're on Instagram there's ads everywhere and they're trying to convince you to buy some shit. Now I have been looking for a new blow dryer for my hair, right? And I have seriously been considering getting Maury to deal with hair growth and just making sure my hair is healthy. But I think as far as like retail items or things for your house or just stuff in general, you should be buying stuff when you need it. You should probably have some good sneakers, some good clothes, and you should be ready for the seasons. If you live in a place like New England like I do, you should definitely be prepared for that. But I do definitely think that people have a tendency to buy things that they might not need and get caught up with the idea of getting shit that might not be useful. So when do you need to buy things? I think we need to get into the habit of getting things when we actually need it and not buying things because we want to. First of all, you can save money by doing that, and second of all, you won't have just a bunch of crap everywhere. Like, no one wants to be a hoarder, and that's definitely a way to stop yourself from being one. Maybe you don't need to buy a coat right now. Maybe you just need to wait till there's a sale to buy one. I kind of like buying things on clearance and at a discounted price, and I don't care if the stuff is like used or whatever, because in my mind everything is already touched anyway, from manufacturing to somebody sewing it to all this and all that. It's already touched, right? It's already touched. So honestly, what's the big deal? I don't really think there is one. So moving on from the idea of what do we buy next, let's get into the idea of the main part of the conversation. which is winter cleaning. And I just told you about buying things. I think in the wintertime, you're needing to just throw shit out. You're going through your winter clothes. You're going through some crap that's everywhere, all over in the house. And you're just throwing things out because you might not need it. You're like looking over the things for the next season ahead. I mean, I live in New England, so the next season for me is spring after winter. So I will be making sure I have the correct amount of things for the next season ahead and getting rid of stuff that I don't need, right? Going through, I don't know, like work clothes or dress clothes or normal clothes, making sure I don't have anything that's been worn too much or has too many markings on it, especially like shoes or sneakers. I really do need to go through like shoes and shit again and throw more shit out. I just don't want to feel cluttered. I hate that feeling. I don't know why anybody wants to feel like that. And I think we all need to take time to do winter cleaning because it's important for spring living. Just a thought. Following the idea of winter cleaning leads us into the next part of the conversation, which is work-life balance. If you don't have a work-life balance, you're working till you die. And working till you die is not fun. Now, these corporations and these jobs don't care about your work-life balance. You might be seriously trying to have a child or buy a house or do something or live or go to the doctor or have a vacation. And they don't care. They don't care. I don't think they ever did. I'm not saying that like they can't care. They want you to do your job. But if you don't break away and you don't have a disconnection between your life and your work, that's not good for you. In fact, that's really bad for you. There has to be a disconnection for your sanity. You cannot put all your eggs in the basket of your job because at any point they can fire you, they can replace you, they can put you in another department, they can demote you, promote you, give you more shit, pay you less, not give you that other pay raise that they're supposed to give to you, and make up a bunch of shit and make your life hell, or not, or you could just be stuck stagnant in the same thing forever, which nobody wants. You need to live your life and understand that work-life balance is the only way you're going to truly enjoy your life. I hate the idea of parents raising children, bringing them up while they work, and then when they turn like 70, then at that point they want to travel and see things. That is sad. You should be doing all that shit while you're far younger than that. And the idea you're going to wait till you're that age to actually live your life is pretty sad. I'm just saying, how did we get to that point? We need to find a way that we can live our lives without thinking that you can't live because you have to ask your job if you can breathe. No, those days ended during COVID. Sorry, no. And all these companies are saying they're getting rid of DEI and they're getting rid of the wokeness and they're going back to normalcy and merit and all this shit. Well, of course they are. None of that worked. Which leads me back to the whole question about the merit thing. The reason why they are talking about getting rid of the merit this way, getting back to the merit, is because they have all these unqualified people that aren't doing anything and they're left with a bunch of crap. And they have penalized people that are actually doing their job. Just like the government. You know how many videos have come out? How many people have admitted how many people don't do their actual job at these jobs? And you would think that the majority of the work goes on to specific people to do it because the majority of everyone else isn't doing it. How much does it suck to work in an environment where you're working hard and your coworkers aren't doing shit? And they don't care. That is corporate America. Be very careful. Not every company is what you think it is, and you don't know that till you start working there. Be very careful. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Always understand your value, your worth, and understand what you can do. And maybe seek to work in a place that recognizes your value and wants to utilize all of your skill set and your education to make that place better. See, you're the talent that they're seeking. And if they don't see you as the talent, then that probably is not the place for you. Just talk. Comfortable remote work is better than like commuting everywhere. Who the fuck wants to commute like 15 miles to work? Who wants to do all this ridiculous driving and traffic and people and cars that can't drive? Who wants to deal with that shit? I mean, I know I don't. Do you want to deal with that? It's 2025. You know how many remote jobs there are or hybrid jobs that there are? I'm sure you can find a job that will at least let you do 2 days at home and the rest of the days there. You should honestly be trying to look for a place that's not like 80 miles away from where your house is. Facts. You get to follow your own path. So don't let anyone try to tell you that you need to wait for them. That's not how this works. You set your own path and then you follow it if you want to. Having fun is important, because if you're not having fun, then you're having misery. And who wants to have that? Finding joy. Maybe you find joy in something small. Maybe you find joy in something big. Trusting God. Because if you don't trust in God, are you going to trust in the devil? The devil is always right behind you trying to stop you from doing things that make you happy. Ignore him. The Hallow prayer app is definitely essential. I am going to be using it a lot during this Lent season, and I do say morning prayer and the night prayer on Hallow, and I really do like it. And if you're looking for a way to say more prayers or get more involved in your faith, check out Hallow. I really think you'll like it. Moving on from that, let's get to watching things. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is out. We don't watch bad things, although there are a lot of things that are bad. This is how you stop yourself from watching bad things. Look at the preview for the stuff that you think is good, and then make the decision if you want to watch it or not. Apple has a way of creating insane shows, like the latest show of Severance. Every episode I'm watching this show, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'm literally watching it, and I have no idea what I'm watching. But I'm still looking at it, so clearly they're doing a great job. 1,000 Blows and Chris Dostefano stand-up on Netflix looks really funny. Those are great things that we should probably be watching. As far as eating goes, haven't eaten everything yet, but I'm going to. Healthier nachos. I guess you make that with broccoli instead of the chips. Honey garlic chicken noodles. Yum. We shouldn't overeat, because if you overeat, you're going to make yourself sick, and it's not worth it. And you don't want to be over-consuming calories if you don't need to. Cilantro lime chicken is one of my most favorite chickens to make. I also like making taco chicken as well. Air fried green beans. They're not that difficult to make. You get the air fryer, you get the green beans, you put the green beans in the air fryer, you do the non-stick spray on top, and you can put whatever seasoning you want on it to taste the way you want. I typically do like Italian seasoning, or I have this ghost pepper from the seasoned guy that I like, that I get my seasonings from. Garlic chicken meal prep. I saw a video for it. It looks cool. I don't know. My friends, thank you for tuning in to this Friday weekend edition of Born to Be a Star. And please don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. Life has a way of putting you exactly where you're supposed to be. So sometimes just sit back and let things happen the way they're supposed to be. That's all I can tell you. Thank you for tuning into this Friday weekend edition of Born to Be a Star. Have an amazing weekend. Don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. Brothers and sisters, you, me, us, they, and everybody. We have to save the United States of America and the rest of the world too, and the galaxies beyond the galaxies. We have to remember we are the beginning, the middle, and the end, omnipresent, just like Jesus Christ. Been here before, seen everything before. We are the light and the darkness, and the darkness can't defeat the light, because the light is everywhere. That's us. Regardless of people telling you what you can't be, recognize who you are and who you can be. Stars shine brightly, regardless of the darkness that surrounds them. Just don't forget that, and you'll be fine. I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. Bye-bye.